Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel or welcome if you're new here. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this super delicious pot of egusi soup. If you do not know how to make egusi soup, take this video as a masterclass because after watching this video, you're going to become an egusi soup pro. Without further ado, let's head straight into cooking. Before we start to cook, let me run you through all the ingredients I'm going to be using for this egusi soup. Here I have shaki, also known as tripe, and it's one of the proteins I'm going to be using. I also have some goat meat and then I have bomo. You can use any protein of choice. I have this smoked fish, also known as kwanla. This is my egusi seeds, and then I have pepper. For the pepper mixture, I have tatashe, shombo, and rodo. I do not like to add tomatoes when I'm making my soup or making egusi soup. You're also going to need onions. I have 2 onion bulbs here. You will need some crayfish powder, and then for my vegetable, I'm using bitter leaf, also known as Efirin. You can actually use several vegetables for your egusi soup. Today, I'm going to be using bitter leaf and ugu leaves. You also need some palm oil. For the spices and seasoning, I only have seasoning powder and salt. Now let's get straight into prepping and then we proceed to cooking. First, I'll go ahead to cut my shaki and the pomo as well into my preferred size. I bought this as a whole in the market, so I'm going to cut them into smaller sizes. Afterwards, I'll go ahead to thoroughly wash them before I proceed to cook. Please ensure that you always wash your proteins very well. After washing and prepping all your proteins, you're going to add the shaki into the pot, add your onions, seasoning powder, salt. I'm going to be cooking the shaki first before I add the goat meat because it takes longer to cook than goat meat. So I do not want to add the goat meat now. If I do, it's going to end up too soft and I don't want my goat meat in the soup to be too soft. I don't think anybody likes goat meat that is too soft. While the shaki is cooking, I'll go ahead to roughly chop my peppers in my food processor. Now, when I'm making soups, vegetable, that's eforiro, okra, egusi, I do not like to make my pepper blend smooth. I want it coarse. And the reason is one, it cooks faster because there's no liquid inside, which is also why I do not add tomatoes when I'm making soups. The liquid is not present, so it cooks faster and also it makes it tastier, in my opinion. It makes it more tasty. So this is what it looks like, and then I'll set this aside. My shaki is about 85% done. I'm going to add in the goat's meat. I'll also add the pomo. I like to cook my pomo because this way flavor gets into the pomo rather than just adding it straight into the pot of soup. This way it absorbs more flavor from the broth. Now the goat meat, the shaki, everything is done. I'm going to take this out from the pot and set aside. The egusi seeds I showed you guys earlier, when blended, this is what it's going to look like. So all you have to do is add your egusi with some crayfish into a blender and blend to powder form. You're going to add the broth from the goat meat or any protein you're using into your egusi that you blended and you want to make a paste. Rather than using just water, using the broth adds more flavor into the egusi soup. If you don't want to skip this step, if you do this step, trust me, your egusi soup is going to taste super delicious. And you want your paste to be thick and not runny. Can you see how thick mine is? That's the consistency you want to achieve. To start cooking your egusi soup, place your pot on heat, add your palm oil. I'm going to be frying all of my proteins. You can skip this part, but trust me, I just love that flavor and that feel of fried goat meat and shaki and pomo in the egusi soup. You're not frying it till it's very dry, but you just want it to brown a bit in the palm oil. Trust me, you guys, if you try this method, you're going to come back and thank me. After frying, you're going to add your onions into your pot, Going with some locust beans. I forgot to show you guys this locust beans when I was showing you the ingredients. You're going to fry the onions and the locust beans for about 2 to 3 minutes until they become fragrant. Frying your onions and locust beans at the beginning is going to give your meal a very, very distinct and super good aroma. Now, adding your coarsely blended pepper and then give it a mix. You're going to leave this to cook on medium to low heat for about 5 to 7 minutes, checking at intervals to ensure it's not burning. At this point, your pepper mixture is already frying. You go ahead to add some salt, add your seasoning powder, and then go in with some crayfish. When you're making egusi soup, you want to be generous with the amount of crayfish powder. Give everything a stir, and you're going to leave this to fry for about 3 to 4 minutes. Afterwards, you go ahead to add in your egusi paste. If you want to get grainy, one or lumpy egusi, you're going to scoop them in small sizes into the pot and then cover to cook on medium to low heat. After the egusi has been cooking for about 8 to 10 minutes, you're going to give this a stir carefully. If you love to break the lumps, go ahead to break the lumps. But if you want some lumps and grainy effect, you don't want to break the lumps too much. Just combine everything together gently. At this point, you're going to add in your goat meat broth or water if you don't have any broth. But when you're making egusi, your broth makes a lot of difference. You don't want to add too much as well. Just add a little amount, combine together, and then go in with all of your proteins. Your shaki, your pomo, your fish, everything you want to add basically, add it at this stage. I went in with all the fried proteins and then my fish. So I'll gently give this a stir. Once you've combined and given everything a good stir, you're going to cover and allow this cook on medium to low heat. At this point, you can taste for seasoning and spices if you need anything else, but this was just perfect. Now I'll proceed to add in my vegetables. I have my Efirin, also known as bitter leaf, and I'm going to add my ugu leaf as well. The most commonly used vegetables when making egusi soup is usually ugu and maybe uziza. But trust me, you can use different types of leaf. You can use spinach, you can use bitter leaf like I'm doing, you can use ishakpa, you can use any kind of leaf basically. My dad used to love egusi soup made with bitter leaf, so my mom would always add bitter leaf whenever she was making egusi soup, and it was one of the best. I added some crayfish at the end of the cooking. This intensifies the flavor and just makes everything come together better. I'm going to be adding a little bit of water because the egusi soup is a bit too thick, but I also do not want my egusi soup runny. If you want your egusi soup to be runny, just add as much water or broth as you want. But I'm going to gradually add water into this until I achieve my desired thickness or consistency that I want for the soup. Once you've combined everything, you've checked for salt, for seasoning, and you're very, very okay with the taste of the egusi, cover and cook on extremely low heat for about 7 to 10 minutes. At this point, the whole of your kitchen is smelling so good. The aroma is spreading to your neighbor's house, and they're about to come and knock your door to beg for a bowl of egusi soup. Hi guys, if you have not subscribed to my channel at this point, What are you waiting for? Kindly hit that subscribe button. YouTube tells me that you guys are watching my videos, but you're not subscribing. So in case you always see my videos, you think you have subscribed, please check that that red button is showing subscribed and not subscribed. Thank you. Now, most people in Nigeria pair their egusi soup with pounded yam, but my dad used to use egusi soup made with Efirin, which is bitter leaf. He used to pair it with amala, and it tasted super, super delicious. If you have not tried this combination before, don't talk down on it. I know pounded yam and egusi soup tastes very good. But have you tried amala and egusi soup made with bitter leaf? Oh my goodness, it tastes super, super delicious. I was just remembering my late dad while I was eating this food. The combination is premium. But for those of you who would say amala cannot be as good as pounded yam, here you go. Pounded yam is here as well. Let me know in the comment section, which would you rather pair with your egusi soup? Is it pounded yam or amala or maybe fufu? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.